Hello everyone. So next, let us start with the module 4, that is irrigation and irrigation engineering. So let us start with the introduction. So irrigation is nothing but it is the artificial supply of water to the agricultural fields for crop production or cultivation. So and this is useful when there is insufficient rainfall. Okay, and that's how we have to be dependent on irrigation for the artificial supply of water. Okay, so there are various irrigation works. So first is the rivers. Okay, so rivers and reservoirs, they are the sources from where the water can be pumped out. Okay, and then the control structures are how to manage this water, control when there is excess water, save it when there is excess, and utilize it when there is need. Okay, so control structures are some barrages, head regulators, and such. And the distribution system is nothing but through the canals. Again, the irrigation canals are nothing but the distribution system. Okay, so there are different types of irrigation. So first is the surface irrigation, sprinkler irrigation, drip irrigation. So surface irrigation is again further divided into the sprinkler and drip irrigation. They are the subsurface irrigation system. So the surface irrigation, let us first check out what is this surface irrigation. So surface irrigation is nothing but it is the application technique where water is applied and distributed over the soil by the surface of gravity. So we are using the gravitational force and giving it a slope so that water is supplied to the soil, and mainly through gravity. Okay, this is the most common type of irrigation throughout the world. Okay, now the surface irrigation is further subdivided into basin irrigation, border irrigation, and furrow irrigation. Okay, again it is there in the name itself, that is a basin. So basin irrigation is the form of a irrigation wherein there are they have made a small layouts in the fields itself, so that these layouts are they prevent the runoff, and whatever water is saved in the basin is flows into the field. Okay, and you can see here, this is the basin flow. They've made a basin. Okay, there's just extra this thing, and they've made a basin here. Okay, and whatever water flows, it doesn't run off, it just gets settled here. Next, you can see here again, this is also a type of a basin irrigation. Okay. So usually now basin irrigation is mainly used for paddy rice, because it needs water throughout. Okay, the water should be the roots should be submerged in water throughout. Okay, um, and it is not suited for crops which cannot withstand wet or waterlogged condition for more than 24 hours, like this under root plants like the beetroot, potatoes, and carrots, etc. Okay. Okay. Next, this basin irrigation is more suitable for flatter land. Okay. And next, so here the water application method is mainly through direct method or cascade method. So of course, again, basin irrigation, here you can see here the direct method. Okay, direct method is the direct flow of the water. That is, irrigation water is led directly from field channel to the basin through the bund bricks. Okay, to the see here, these are all a permanent bund at the end. This is the temporary bund. Okay, so through the bund like this, the water is being supplied through the basin. Okay, then this is the cascade method. Means if there is from one, first initially it is led to B1, then B2, then B3. So like this is the called as the cascade method. Okay, all right. Next is border irrigation. So border irrigation is nothing but it is the extension of the basin irrigation. So it is mainly due to it's applied where there is sloping, long rectangular or contoured field shapes with free draining conditions at the lower end. Okay, that means water doesn't get locked for a longer time. You can see here in this figure, this is a border irrigation wherein you can see there are strips here, borders. Okay, there is the intake. Okay, at the end there is a water will is supplied to this portion till the end, and if there is excess water it goes out through this drain. Okay, at the lower end there are drains available, so water doesn't get clogged for a longer time, excess water just drains off. Okay, so this is the mm, called as border irrigation. You can see here this portion, this lower end there are drains here, water is supplied through this, there are borders here, and that this portion there are drains. Okay, next is furrow irrigation. So furrow irrigation is nothing but it is avoids flooding the entire field surface by channeling the flow along the primary direction of the field like furrows, creases or corrugations. Okay, we see it in the diagram. You can see here, instead of completely entirely wetting the field, it is like furrows are made. So these furrows, only water is applied to this portion. So water, when it is applied in the furrow here, eventually it goes to the adjacent roots which are below like this. Okay, and only this portion is, only this part of the river water gets penetrated to the lower portion of the plants here. Okay, so you can see here there is, these are all furrows, so this is called as furrow irrigation. So the complete land is not wetted, only the furrows are wetted and water seeps in through the furrow to the roots. Okay, via this furrow. You can see here all these are examples of furrow. Here there is furrow here and there are saplings here. Okay, the next one is sprinkler irrigation. So sprinkler irrigation, now again it is a method of applying irrigation water which is similar to natural rainfall. So here you can notice that we have already studied about this. It is widely used. So the water is sprayed into the air through sprinklers so that it breaks into a smaller water drops which again falls back to the ground. Okay, you can see here water is sprayed throughout. So this is a sprinkler method. Okay, we have all seen this, especially in the lawns and all. This eventually it rotates and distributes the water throughout. Okay, again this is a form of sprinkler irrigation. Okay, the next one is drip irrigation. So in drip irrigation is nothing but it is also called as a trickle irrigation, and it involves the dripping of water into the soil at a very low rates. Okay, uh, so here what happens here? It is very suitable for high value rock crops. That means the water doesn't get wasted to the soil or in the evaporation. It exactly goes to the roots and the water is supplied to the roots directly instead of wasting it on the surface or subsurface or entirely wetting the field. Okay, you can see here, this is the drip irrigation. This is the main feeder pipe. Okay, in the feeder pipe it goes to this secondary pipe. From the secondary pipe it goes to this pipe. Okay, and then whenever we open the wall, okay, the flow gets adjusted and it goes on filling here. Okay, dripping here, again dripping at all these points. Okay, so drip irrigation happens to be the best, but at times it needs some maintenance because if there is any breakage of the pipe then there is a loss, so maintenance is a problem. So you can actually see the drip irrigation, only that portion. Okay, only that portion gets of the sapling gets the water and the roots is wetted. Okay, so there are many such methods. So it all depends on, which method to use. All depends on the natural conditions, type of technology, costs and benefits, labor required, inputs, and the previous experience with the irrigations as such. All right, so these are the different types of irrigation methods, that is surface, sprinkler, and drip irrigation method. Okay, all right, that's all for today. Thank you.